Greetings. Recently I've gotten quite a few questions regarding setting up and playing Gothic on modern systems, so I've decided to create this video in which I will outline the steps required to play the game the way I've done it recently in my playthrough. First of all, you will need to get the game. I strongly recommend grabbing it from Good Old Games, where it usually costs around $10 or so. You can also wait for a sale to get it for less. You can also find it on other platforms such as Steam, but I prefer Good Old Games because of their no DRM policy. As you can see, you can find both Gothic 1 and 2, and they each cost around $10 or so. So go ahead, buy them, install it by either downloading it directly from their website or just install them through Good Old Games Galaxy, which is a game launcher that you can use. Once you have the games installed, it's time to grab this amazing tool called Spine, which lets you manage mods and patches for all of the Gothic games. I will post the URL where you can download it in the description below the video. So go ahead, install it. Once it is installed, you may need to configure it correctly by specifying the installation path of Gothic 1 and 2. But once that is done, we need to get to the main subject of this video, and that is modding it to work on modern systems and using some quality of life patches. So this is how Spine looks like once it's installed and correctly configured for Gothic. As you can see, on the Databases tab, there are a lot of patches and mods available for the game. Feel free to browse them and test them all. Me personally, I just wanted to play the game in its vanilla state, only utilizing a few graphical fixes and perhaps a few quality of life patches. So this is how the add-on list for Gothic 1 looks like for me. There are a few mandatory patches which are required for other patches to work and to make them work on modern systems, such as the 4GB patch, Gothic 1 community patch, Ninja, and Union. So make sure to install these. If you want more information on what each one of these does, you can get them from the Spine description. Next up are quality of life patches. I prefer using the following. Patch menu. This one gives you an in-game menu to configure other patches. Advanced inventory. This one gives you better UI for managing your inventory. It's really helpful. PickLockHelper. This gives you a small visual indicator on the direction of lockpicks when lockpicking. Infinite sprint. This gives you the ability to sprint by using a hotkey. The effect is the same as the one you get from the speed potion in-game. I find it really annoying that by default the character only walks in the game. This is a mandatory quality of life add-on for me. D3D11 Renderer. This gives you better and more configurable visual effects. You can access its menu in-game by pressing F11 with a ton of configuration options. I highly recommend this. And in terms of texture patches, I recommend using Reese's Gothic 1 texture mix. This gives you better quality but more or less faithful to the original textures. Make sure that you launch the game from Spine using the Start Game button here. Otherwise all the modifications won't be available in game. So this is my list of patches that I've used to finish Gothic 1 with. And this is how the game looks like. For Gothic 2, I've used the following mandatory patches. The 4GB patch, Union, and Ninja. Once you have these installed, I also suggest the following. Patch menu, Advanced inventory, PickLockHelper, Enhanced sneak. This one helps you by speeding up the sneaking animation. It's terribly slow by default, so I highly recommend it. D3D11 Renderer. This gives you better visual quality. And This is optional, I haven't used this. Reese's Texture Mix. This one gives you better textures, but also gives the game a darker tone, and I prefer the original one with its more vibrant colors. So that's my list of patches for Gothic 2, and this is how it looks like in-game. Now here's a question for those of you who have already played this game. Which patches have you used? Please leave a comment below with the list of patches that you have used. So that's it, folks. I hope you find this video useful. If you do, please give a thumbs up and consider subscribing for future content. Farewell.